there, right? So, so, that ended there or whatever. Um, and so it was just crazy to me how she could so casually mention his name to me and then, be fishing for me to take care of things for her birthday when, my birthday was pretty much not really celebrated and shit like that. It's just crazy to me, right? So, but that was before I cut her off, right? And so, with Demetrius, so at the end of last year, like right before Thanksgiving, when the stuff happened, when they made the oh, okay, okay. Well, I'm sure they got some people reporting, and I was gonna unblock Jackie and Rolita and Demetrius for the live, but I didn't even do it because I'm sure somebody probably screen recording and gonna send it to them, and I don't care. But I didn't think about uh physically going in there and unblocking them or whatever. So anyway, so at the end of right before Thanksgiving of last year, um, when the stuff happened with them making the false accusations against Lil G, with adult protective services and stuff, I unblocked Demetrius also. And I unblocked Demetrius on my phone. I unblocked her because Rolita was steady texting Lil G and telling her that she needed their mom's identification and stuff like that. And Lil G was at home and she was watching the show, and in the show there was something about child grape. I'm gonna say grape now because I don't want them to stop my live and stuff. So it's something about that, and she got triggered. Mind you, it takes a lot for Lil G to talk about what happened to her. It took a long time for me to get to a place where I could talk about what happened to me, right? So it take a lot for Lil G to go there. But this show was on and triggering her, and then Rolita texting her, bothering her. Child essay. Okay, thank you, boo. It's a lot to keep track of what you can't say and all of that. So when Rolita texts her, bothering her about the identification and stuff like that, Lil G was like, "Leave me alone, you grapist." That's what she said. And so she was mad about that, and so hence she called Demetrius. What Demetrius had to do with any of it, still don't know to this day, but she called Demetrius because Demetrius is a flying monkey, right? So Demetrius calls Lil G, and she's telling Lil G to just give her what she asking for and to apologize. And I'm like, she told you to apologize for what? And I guess for calling her a rapist, right? And I unblocked Demetrius, and I'm like, since you want to insert yourself into something that has nothing to do with you, I'm going to let you have it, right? So I'm going off on her. Don't you ever tell a victim to apologize to somebody who had a hand in what happened to them. Now, mind you, Lil G has told me stories of when she lived with Rolita, how Rolita would want to take her to places, but have her younger siblings stay at the house. And she wasn't going for it. This is why I say they were serving kids up on a silver platter, right? And so Lil G called Rolita that because she knew what was going on and she was allowing it, right? So, and I told Demetrius about herself, and then at first Demetrius didn't even know who she was talking to. And then when she finally figured it out, she was like, this don't have nothing to do with me, and I thought this was about Aunt G or whatever and all this stuff, whatever. It didn't have nothing to do with you, but you inserted yourself in it, so now I'm going to let you have it, right? And she's saying how she was telling Lil G how she didn't want my grandma to go with Rolita and them. She wouldn't want her mom to go with Rolita and them because they not going to take care of her. This is the kind of stuff she would tell Lil G, right? But when she talks to Jackie and Rolita, it's a whole different story, right? And so I'm telling her this, you don't tell nobody to apologize for something that happened to them. And she told me, can I make this small and go to a text? Oh, I don't think I can, y'all. I want to read this text word for word. I want to read it word for word. I feel like So it's a way for me to connect my phone to the laptop, right? To pull up Google Messages, right? It's got to be a way. Because I want to read it word for word. But since I don't know how to do it right now, the lady told me when I mentioned, what happens, she was like, you, no, I need to tell y'all, I need to tell y'all word for word what this lady said. Hold up. Where is it? Laptop. And I'm gonna wait till the thing pop up. Okay. Now it's popping up. It's pairing to my phone. So in a roundabout way, while I'm waiting on it to load, she basically told me that I outed what this man did to me, and my mom not protecting me. I outed it basically to get clout, is what she said in a roundabout way, right? And come on, y'all. And I said that I was a generational curse breaker. And she said, no, you're not. And she said some shit like that I was delusional for not, because 1 minute I was talking to Jackie and 1 minute my mom, and 1 minute I didn't. But the thing about it is, when it's so embedded in you that you only get one mama, you gotta stick by your mama, you gotta love your mama, right? You're going to be upset in a moment, and then I would always try to go, I can only speak for me. I would always try to go fix things when I wasn't the one who broke us. I would always try to fix everything. That's what my Aunt Bern used to tell me, that my heart was so big that I always wanted to fix everything, even when I wasn't the one who broke it, right? And so my Aunt Bern is no longer here, for those of you who don't know. That was more of a mother to me than the woman who gave birth to me. Let's get that shit right. So she would tell me, you know what I'm saying, just let people go. But I couldn't hear that. I couldn't receive that, because that was my mama, right? Mind you, this is the same mama that sent my baby brother to live with Aunt Bern, right? Because he was at the apartment by himself for a whole minute. The apartment people said either he had to go or she had to move or whatever. She sent him on. But at his high school graduation, our mama made it about her. It wasn't about you. It was about Reginald graduating. We all trying to get pictures with everybody, and you throwing a fit and making it about you. But this is your baby boy that you sent to live with Aunt Bern. With Aunt Bern is Reginald's father's sister. So you sent your baby to live with somebody that wasn't even your blood, and she took care of him like that was her fucking baby, like she did all of us when we were kids, right? But everything is always about her and how you have to, handle her with kid gloves, right? So she brings up how I'm delusional because I talk to my mom 1 minute and I don't talk to her the next, and I'm like, no, I'm not delusional or whatever. I'm a generational curse breaker, right? And I said, y'all some nasty and crazy. She said, we all are, right? I want to read this word for word, y'all, because I know y'all probably looking and y'all probably thinking like, you making this shit up, it can't be real, right? But it's really real. Like, this woman really had the audacity to say this stuff to me, right? And then when I said, I protected my mom, I protected Jackie all my life, right? And it's no longer my job to do that. And then she was like, you shouldn't talk about your mom like that. God don't like ugly. And I said, your comprehension skills suck too. Because what did I say about her? I didn't say nothing about her besides the fact that I wasn't gonna protect her. That's not my job. And I said, whatever happens to her is her karma. That's what I said that she really didn't like. Whatever happens to her is her karma. It's not on me. She didn't like that. But that is the God's honest truth. Whatever happens to that woman is on her. It's not on me anymore. It never should have been on me. I was a parentified child. I was raising my brothers and raising my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that should have been on me. So she was mad at me because I said that, right? Cool. And she was basically saying that everybody moved on with their lives after I put the video out. Like, it didn't do anything, is what she said. It didn't do anything. Like, everybody just moved on with their life. But so some people commented on YouTube, some people commented on Facebook, TikTok, wherever. Some people inboxed me privately because they've been through the same thing, right? So even if I helped one person not feel alone, it did what it was supposed to do, right? And it helped me feel a little lighter at the time. I don't feel light right now, right? I'm about to start crying. I don't feel light right now because they just keep piling shit on. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I say, even though I'm estranged from my grandmother, I don't want nothing to happen to her. I don't want people treating her fucked up. Just because somebody had a hand in something ugly that happened to me, I still don't wish bad on people, right? That's just not me. That's just not who I am. Some people get it back in blood. I don't want my karma to turn around on me like that, right? So, but for it to be so easy for people that's supposed to love me to just walk away and not try to do right by me and try to fix things, it's not my job to protect them people no more. It's not my job. It never was none of these kids in my family job to protect these people. Lil G was raising her younger siblings. I was raising mine. But guess what? My mama learned what she did from her mama, my grandma, right? And my grandma learned it from her mama, I'm guessing. It all gets passed down. But y'all can't never say my kids ain't been with me. That ain't never gonna happen. I'm never going to turn into the monster that gave birth to me. And I'm sorry that she had to turn into the person that she is to feel like that's the only way she could survive. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for whatever you went through, but I didn't deserve it. Neither did my brothers, right? Neither did Lil G. She didn't deserve the shit she went through either. Angel, look like they didn't deserve the things that they went through. We deserve to be loved and to be taken care of simply for being born. I shouldn't have had to work so hard for it, y'all. Tried to be perfect. But perfect still ain't get me nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't get me nowhere. It got me nowhere but being used. Like, this lady would literally tell me, like, after Sunshine been in my life, text me, be talking about number one daughter. I said, don't call me that. Because why would you want to put any of your children before any of it? Like, don't do that to me. And don't put that weight on me. I might look strong and I might look like I always got it figured out, but I said and told her and my daddy, I look strong and I look like I got it, but I don't. Because at the time, they had got back together. And if y'all know my mama, y'all know she was with women for years. But all of a sudden, she wanted to be with my daddy again. And then when she got with my daddy, she started treating me the way I wanted to be treated my whole life. This was a whole new woman. And I wrote some shit about that. And I don't know if this shit gonna close on Facebook. I forgot what word I put in there to find it in my Google Notes. But I wrote a thing about it because I wanted to know, like, why didn't I deserve to be treated that way my whole life? Not just when you got with my daddy and you married my daddy. Well, me and Sunshine daddy, when you married our daddy. Why now? But she was treating me better because she was putting on a front for him, because he would treat me good too. But when he was around her, he would forget all about me though. Excuse me, he would forget all about me. Then they would put me in the middle of their relationship shit, and I asked them not to. And before they got married, I was like, I don't think y'all should. And I can't handle it if something happens with y'all. I said, y'all already put me in the middle now, so I'm asking y'all not to put me in the middle after y'all get married. But what the fuck they do? They put me in the middle. Who gave them the money for their marriage license? Me. It was supposed to be a loan, but it wasn't. It's never a loan. It's never a loan. If it is a loan, if you do pay me the money back, you get it right back, right? So I paid for them to get married. That shit didn't last. We all knew that because they have horrible anger issues, the both of them. And he's super jealous. So I already knew it wasn't going to work. She liked to go out. He liked to sit at home. Never going to work. They never should have been together in the first place, but they got together because God knew that the world needed me, right? So when my mom gave birth to me, she was 16, which means she got pregnant with me when she was 15. She was born in 62. My daddy was born in 68. So if she was 15, he was grown, right? But nobody was looking out for her. Nobody was watching her. Nobody was taking account of where she was at. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was doing that. So, hey, mind you, she told me she was with my cousin Mike, who's no longer alive, she was with him and saw my daddy and forgot all about Mike. So I don't know how that worked, but that's what happened. So Mike could almost been my daddy, I guess. So what I'm saying is she wasn't protected as a child either, right? So I gave my mama a lot because hold on. Okay. I gave my mama grace for a long time because before she was my mama, she was a girl. She was just a girl that wasn't protected either. But at a certain point, when does my grace come in? When does my protection come in, right? If you ain't gonna protect me, cool, but I gotta protect me at a certain point. It's a lot of things I feel like I don't even know about myself because I had to be whatever she needed me to be, whatever my brothers needed me to be, whatever everybody needed me to be, right? I had to be that. Or I felt like I had to be all these things to get love because that's all I knew growing up. You gotta do this so your mama will love you. If you don't do this, she ain't gonna love you. If you do that, she ain't gonna love you. But she still didn't love. Like, a mother's job is to protect their child and to love their child unconditionally, and I do that with my babies every chance I get. And it's not an easy thing for me to do because look at the example that I had in my house. I know that she couldn't give me something that she didn't know, right? So that's why I gave her grace. But at the same time, all the extra shit is what I can't excuse. I can't excuse the beatings. I can't excuse the abuse. I can't excuse you wanting me to go get this man some so you can benefit. But at the same, one of the jobs I had, I worked at Jack in the Box in Bryan, y'all. Mind you, this woman never picked me up or took me to work, but she took my checks though. So one night I get off of work, I'm tired. I didn't feel like walking home, and I don't think the trolley was running. So I got a ride home from this dude or whatever. But he was like the nephew of her girlfriend's people or something. So I'm not thinking nothing of it. He gave me a ride home. He had the number to the house and he had called the house. Now, mind you, we had those cordless phones where it was multiple phones. And she was never at home, but there was also a phone in her room. She kept her door locked because what if Big did all those things? I can't listen. Whatever happened to her, I'm sorry that it happened to her, baby. But that does not excuse the things that she allowed to happen to me. Because do you know how many things have happened to me? And I've never allowed any of that to happen to my children, and I will never. So the woman in me, you know what I'm saying? The woman in me, I can extend grace and I have empathy for her, right? But the mother in me, I can't forgive it. Not right now. Maybe one day I'll forgive. I can't excuse it. There's no excuse for it for me because I would never put my children in that predicament, whether it was a boy or never. So I can't I can't wrap my mind around it. I can't wrap my mind around you being done so dirty as a child and then you allowing that same thing to happen. You may not have had the knowledge or the education, which I didn't get from her, but I had to get it some kind of way, right? Now, I will say, I believe my saving grace was the time I spent being raised by my grandfather and the time I got to spend with Aunt Byrne. I know she did. I'm not arguing with you. What I'm saying is the things that you're saying, I've been through all of that too. I've been through it in my mind. I've been through it in therapy. I've been through it with the man that was in my life forever. Like I've been through all these different things trying to make sense of it. And I know, because that's what he would do. He would kind of be the devil's advocate type thing, see the other side of it. And I've always been able to see the other side of it, which is why I allow her to still be in my life, which I allow her, like, I did everything for her. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know how to do something, you don't know. But at a certain point, you got to educate yourself because it's a lot of shit I didn't know. Because look what I came from. I didn't know it. Like, Aunt Byrne didn't know a lot of things that happened to me, but she showed me love, and I saw how she was with us and how she was with her own children. So if I didn't have that example, and if I didn't have my grandpa, like, I don't feel like I would be the person that I am today. So I'm grateful to God that I had those two individuals, especially in my life, because I wouldn't be who I am. And I'm still grateful for her because I learned what not to do from her. I feel like, yes, you can be messed up as hell from the things that you've gone through, but that doesn't mean that you have to turn into that. That doesn't mean that you have to bleed on other people because of what happened to you, because I've never a day in my life, I never did that. Now, I will say my relationships probably have suffered because of this warped outlook that I had on love and things like that, especially in my younger days, because I'm seeing her and her relationships, and that stuff wasn't love, but that's all I saw. So I thought it was, and I internalized it, right? So even without outright knowing that that's what I was doing the same things that she was doing for a long time. And the night that I really figured out that I turned into her, I let out this blood curdling cry. I was at Crystal's house. I had cut my hair. I let out this cry, and I told Crystal I got to break up with her. I was talking about Lena, my last ex. She got to go, because I've always been the one that I never want to give up on people, and I'm doing whatever I can, and I'm busting my ass making things work for me, my kids, her kid, her. I'm taking care of everybody, but your drug habit is more important than me and the kids and the business. The business is suffering because of what you're doing. But I can't give up on you, because who else gonna want me? I deserve this, right? This all I can get, right? This is it. But when I realized I was turning into her, I'm like, I never abandoned my kids for no man, no woman, right? But the thing about it is, they seeing me in an unhealthy relationship, that wasn't good for them either, right? They need to see me loved properly. And I can't be loved properly if I stay with you, because you're not loving me, you're using me. You fell in love with my hand before you ever fell in love with my heart. But what I led with was my pain from the woman before her. I told her all that, and she took advantage of that, right? But I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking she's saying all the right stuff and she's doing all the right things, but she's doing that to draw me in, to make me fall in love, to where I ain't gonna want to give up on her. And then when I see how her family treat her, I'm not gonna want to, you know what I'm saying? I can't abandon her. I can't leave her alone. She need me. Everybody need Ruthie, right? But Ruthie need Ruthie too. So that night I figured out I was just like her, because her exes was on drugs and all this type of stuff. And I came right on over to this apartment and knocked on the door and broke up with Lena, and she was high then. She was high then. I don't even think it registered in the moment that I had broke up with her. Broke up with her and went right on back to Crystal House. And a little bit later, she moved out. Eventually, I let her come back in because she acted like everything had changed, you know what I'm saying? And who wants to be alone, right? So she came back as a friend, but she was doing everything right. And as soon as I let her get a little, she got high. She got high. And my Aunt Bern was so proud of me when I broke up with her, right? Mind you, the first pop-up shop that was ever done with our business, it was our business, but there was no salsa. No, you could go look at video and pictures from that first pop-up shop. There was no salsa. There was no chips. Everything that was there was made by me, was packaged by me, right? The shirts we had on, the hats, everything. I raised money for that. Y'all helped me. Y'all, my supporters helped with that. Like, I did all of that. Like, it was a full-on display. She didn't help package nothing. She didn't help bake nothing. She didn't wash no dishes. She didn't do nothing. But she was right there with her heaven sent hat and shirt on, like she did something, though. And even though I was upset about it, I was just proud of what I had done, right? And my Aunt Bern was right there. At the event, my Aunt Bern and Reds, they were right there. And I know she was thinking, well, why Lena didn't do nothing? But she didn't say nothing to me at the time. But another pop-up where I was by myself, we had a long talk in the parking lot. And then once I finally broke up with her, with Lena, I went to her house and we talked, and she was like so proud of me that I was, changing my life around, doing things for me and handling things the right way. And when she passed away, Lena was back at my house. So I hate that she was back at my house. But we worked together we weren't like together no more, but she was still here. And then once my Aunt Byrne left this earth, I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. So this is how this woman will manipulate my feelings for her, right? So she used to work in daycares a lot, right? And so she said that she wanted to get all this stuff for the kids in the daycare for her classroom. Mind you, before she got the daycare job, I was like, are you sure you want to get another daycare job? Because it never worked out, right? It wasn't that I didn't believe in her. It's just that I knew that that's not where it was for her, right? So she get the job, and then she's saying, she wanted to get all this stuff for the classroom or whatever. And then, me asking the question, are you sure, this is what you want to do? She got on Facebook and she posted a status, I wish my mama was here, because she always believed in me. Right? Mind you, I've been the one supporting you since I met you. Of course, Heaven Sense started out only her business, but I was the one taking care of the orders, learn how to can the salsa, ship the salsa. I'm handling everything. All she had to do was go in there and whip that shit up, right? So I'm handling everything. But then, so when I ask you, are you sure that you want to work at this daycare? You go put up a Facebook status about your mom that had since passed away years ago, saying you wish she was here because she always supported you. So what I do, I had worked on my credit while me and her were not together. Worked on my credit again, mind you. So I let her use my credit card to go get stuff for her classroom. This lady go get stuff for her classroom, and then she quit the job. All the stuff that she bought, she left it at the job. While she was working at the job, she took my tablet. I had a Samsung tablet at the time. She took my tablet to the job, saying she would play YouTube for the kids on it. And then I'm just, thinking she got it in her backpack every day. And then I asked her for it, and she told me she left it at the job one day. You left it at the job? You always talking about how they roguish, okay. But she had pawned it, y'all. She pawned my tablet so she could get her pills or whatever. And I found that out later, right? So she had pawned it. But she used my credit card to buy all this stuff for the classroom. Then she quit the job. And then she left all the stuff there. And of course she wasn't going to help me pay the credit card back. And then once she quit that job, though, I didn't have nothing else to say to her. So I'm sitting in the living room, she in the kitchen, and I'm just scrolling on my phone, and she got sniggling and giggling, like, you ain't gonna say nothing? And I'm like, what is there to say? Like, I can't keep living like this. I can't be the only one working. And she said something smart, and I had nothing else to say. And then at this time, Crystal was getting ready to give birth to Aubrey. So I went up to the hospital to be with Crystal. Lena had her niece come pick her and her stuff up. Took stuff that belonged to me in the process. But guess what? When I leave you, I don't give a damn what you take. The first girlfriend, when that split up happened, she kept all the furniture, dishes, and everything. Mind you, she moved here to California to live with me. And the couches and stuff, a friend of mine, Katrina, had gave them to me. But I had my dad come, Crystal came, and Herbert, my middle brother, he came to help me get my stuff. She had put all my clothes in the living room, and that's all I could take was my clothes. Bunk beds that I purchased for our kids, I couldn't take none of that. And I really didn't want nothing. I just got my clothes and I left. And then she telling people I left her for dead. Baby, you was killing me. So I had to go. You pulled a gun out before I left. Pulled a gun out on Crystal. But Crystal is the one that you having me borrow money from so you can drink your liquor and smoke your weed. You see how the women that I was with, they had a drug habit. I'm not a druggie. I don't do that. But I fell in love with these women because they took advantage of the hurt that I was going through. The hurt with the first girlfriend that came from Gabby's daddy. She got a pattern of that too. Getting with somebody that just had a baby or pregnant and then playing on that. You know what I'm saying? But that's a story for another day. But it's just like this family, these people that I'm related to is not a family. These relatives that I share blood with, like what's that song Church with Slim Thug and what's his name? The man who ain't want nobody let nobody in his church when it flooded. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The man, the white man. So when he was talking about they may be related to you, but they not connected to you, right? I think I play that song all the time because even though I'm related to these people, like, they ain't heard the calling on my life. Or maybe they did, and they hate that. Maybe they hate what me and Lil G done became, or what Angel has become. Like, she got her kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe they hate that. And I feel sorry for them, because you could be helping us, and we all could be flourishing together. But that's okay. Joel Osteen, that's his name. That is his name. That is his name. Thank you, Sarah. That is his name. So we could be flourishing together. We could be building each other up, helping each other, like, you know what I'm saying? But instead, y'all made it harder. Instead, y'all did all these things. So the Jack in the Box job, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. But it's just a lot of stuff that has happened, right, that I never talked about because I'm protecting these people, right? So got a ride home from the boy, gave him the number, he called, and I deleted all the calls off of all the phones except for the one that was in her room. She used to lock her door because my middle brother Herbert used to go in her room and take stuff like my daughter Gabby does now. I be saying, I think Gabby was supposed to be his baby, but she came to me. And I'm just going to keep on pushing. I'm going to keep trying, right? But anyway, so I didn't get to delete the number off of the phone that was in her room. So when she did finally come home and she checked that phone and saw that name, and I told her what happened, she blew up on me. And I didn't understand why. Blew up on me. And she wanted to whoop me. She wanted to give me a whooping. Mind you, I'm grown, though. I'm in the college first program. I'm going to school, and I'm working, and I'm taking care of her kids, watching out there. She wanted to whoop me, and I'm like, no. And so she was like, either you take this ass whooping or you get out my house. She didn't even let me put my shoes on that I paid for out of my check. You know the shoes that they let you get? The shoes for cruise? This lady didn't even let me put my shoes on. I had my socks on and my work uniform still. I had to get out the house. I called Crystal, and I believe I called the pastor of the Salvation Army Church, which is where we went to in Bryan at the time. And Crystal had got us a room that night. And then my recruiter had came and got me, and I'm telling them what happened. And they was like, well, if you don't feel safe when you go home, you know, we won't leave you, right? So we get to the house, and I'm standing where they can see me, but she can't. And I'm telling them, no, don't leave me. They left me. Do you know that woman beat me like I stole something? Beat me. And then a call came through. I had met this dude, Brandon. Brandon from Bryan, Brandon Pillows. I had met him working at Jack in the Box. Met him. He was older too. Too old to be talking to me, but I was around 17, I think. So anyway, he called the house. Mind you, after she done beat me, he called the house. She talked to him. They talk about whatever. I feel like she knew that he was a street pharmacist at the time, so she felt like she could benefit, right? So, so she talked to him, and then after she beat me for letting this other dude bring me home from work, and that was it, and calling the house, after she beat me for that, she let me talk to Brandon on the phone. He even told her how old he was. She let me talk to him on the phone because she could benefit from that. It's okay to basically prostitute your daughter out. I wasn't putting all this together back then, right? But it's okay for that. But I think I remember hearing something about the other dude that gave me a ride home, something about he had some kind of predatory thing on his record or something. But wouldn't it make more sense to talk to your child and tell her, hey, don't get a ride from him no more because I done heard stuff about him doing XYZ and I don't think that's safe, right? It make more sense to talk to her, not beat her, right? Another time that it basically, you let me know my body ain't mine, right? So, one of her exes, and she had a son named James. James is no longer living, but that was my brother, right? I didn't look at him in no sexual manner or nothing like that. That was my brother. He would stick up for me and everything. So one day we were living in this house on the east side of Bryan, and so we was in the den, which was his room. We was all watching TV, me, him, the boys, my brothers, everybody. I'm on the arm of the chair. He was showing me something. She came back there and seen me on the arm of the chair, and she flipped out and she beat the mess out of me, y'all. Beat me for sitting on the arm of the chair and calling me fast because I was sitting on the arm of the chair. But you would tell me to go get this military man song. You'll have me get on the phone with this street pharmacist. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's okay. That's cool. It's cool when you tell me to do it, right? So I feel like that's why a lot of young women become like hypersexual. Like, something happens to them, somebody takes advantage of them, right? And then when they get older, they feel like that's the only thing they have control over is their body. Like, I can decide now who gets it. I can decide. I didn't have that choice then, but now I have that choice, right? So it's for me, that's how it was, right? So it's just a lot. Like, so I decided to come on here and tell y'all a lot of this stuff, and I'm sure that other people have gone through things with their families or relatives similar to maybe the exact same thing. I don't know, but I just don't want it to be when we get the call that my grandmother is gone. Just know that I told y'all what it was. I told y'all what it was, and it's not okay. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care who mad about it. I don't care how you feel. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. They've been getting away with doing this type of stuff for too long, and nobody's held them accountable. And yes, karma gonna do what it do. God gonna do what he do. But God also empowers us to do things too. God also empowers us to speak up. I may not have been strong enough back then, or I may not have known everything back then in order to speak up, but I'm speaking up now. And what they doing is not okay, right? So, even if they succeed in getting her off this earth and getting some type of monetary gain, then guess what? I still said something. You ain't doing it in secret now, right? Like, even while she was in a nursing home, they showed her pictures of her apartment that was torn up because Lucius was in there. Lucius is her youngest son. He was in there with his girlfriend at the time, and they tearing up the apartment, and it's just a complete mess in there, y'all. And they done took pictures and took them to the nursing home and showed her. Why would you show this woman her home in disarray, in disorder, when she can't go do anything about it? Then her father passed away. I didn't even know the man was still alive. I'm gonna just say that. I didn't know her daddy was still alive. He passed away. They tell her while she in the nursing home that her dad passed away. Then she started acting out. We didn't know why until we found out that her dad passed away. Because they didn't tell us. They don't, I wasn't talking to them, but they didn't tell Lil G or nothing. They told her, though. Something she couldn't do anything about. Couldn't get out of bed, plan a funeral, go to the funeral, or nothing. You told her that. But that was, to me, that was systematic. They was tearing her down bit by bit to get them to do what they wanted her to do, which is finally sign them power of attorney papers. So this other lady couldn't be power of attorney, right? So it's like they will do whatever they need to do so that they can benefit. And it's all kind of things that were done to us as children. You know what I'm saying? We were beat on, misused, left alone. You know what I'm saying? Lil G, when she was living with Rolitha would have her kids fighting on Lil G, Angel, and Lucius. They would get to eat if it was food left. Or sometimes when it was food left, the food would get spit in. This is something that I learned recently. I didn't know none of this shit, right? Because I was a kid at the same time Lil G was a kid. We only a year apart. So my grandma got 2 kids that's younger than me. Y'all put that together, right? So, but she had all these kids and she wasn't home with her kids. A lot of times she was working, but when she was working, it wasn't benefiting her kids. Same with her children. If they was making money, it wasn't benefiting their kids like that. You know what I'm saying? They getting food stamps or whatever. One time, y'all, I got beat and I got hit with a belt under my eye and had to go to school like that. And y'all want to know why? Because me and my brothers got home from church and they was hungry, and I went into the kitchen and I was making them some noodles, and my mom and her girlfriend came home, so I hid the noodles in the laundry room because we weren't supposed to be in the kitchen because her girlfriend didn't want us in the kitchen. Mind you, that wasn't her girlfriend's food stamps that paid for the stuff. So I hid them and she beat me, and I had the thing under my eye for trying to feed my brothers. But I didn't want to tell them what happened because they was going to take me away from my brothers. Crystal wanted to tell them what happened, but I wouldn't let her because I didn't want them to take me away from my brothers. Right? All kind of like stench cords out fresh out the tub. And a lot of y'all might say, oh, everybody, just because you went through it don't make it right. You know, it's not it. It's a lot of shit that I can tell y'all, and I ain't gonna get it all covered in one night. But the main thing that I wanted to come on here and say is these people are doing this stuff to somebody who can't defend herself. The hospital did say that they were not going to allow her to go back to Rolita's home. They did tell Lil G that. So that is a win. But we don't know how far this, the septic, how far it is in her system, if she's going to be able to come back from it. This is the second time she's gone septic. But this is the second time she's been to the hospital since Rolita took her out of the nursing home, mind you. But why you took her out of the nursing home where she was being taken care of to take her into your home and not take care of her? You want to make that make sense for me? But you can't. Because the only reason you're doing it is for what? So you can benefit monetarily. You get her check. And if she passed away, I'm pretty sure you got insurance on her. Because you had insurance on other people. You done took over other people's shit, right? That's what y'all do, right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just noticing that it's 10:51 and I done ran my mouth for a long time. And I don't know if my children have actually gotten into the bed. I'm pretty sure Jamari probably got in the bed. Hopefully Gabby got in the bed too, but y'all know Gabby a no limit soldier, so we don't know. And I can't check the camera until I turn off the live. So I do appreciate everybody for watching, everybody for, listening. If y'all commented and I missed it, I'm so sorry, but it was just a lot to try to get out, a lot to try to get through. Some things I did not get to. And I will go live again because I'm not done speaking out about what these people are doing because I'm not okay with letting them get away with it. I'm not. And if anybody has any tips or whatever on how I go about getting this man that did what he did to me as a child, getting him held liable criminally, reach out to me. I appreciate everybody for watching. I appreciate any love that you've shown me. And just continue to pray for me and those that love me and those that I love. All right, y'all. I'm gone.